Good morning, children. Sairam. I hope you all are enjoying your lockdown and along with that, you are studying too. So, today we are having one very special poem. This is the first poem that we are going to start today. And for that, I just want you to feel what I'll say right now. Just feel that. Best friends forever, mom and me, picking flowers and climbing trees. A shoulder to cry on, secrets to share, warm hearts and hands that really care. Mother. M is for the million things she gave me. O means only that she's growing old. T is for the tears she shed to save me. H is for the heart of purest gold. E is for the eyes with love light shining. R means right, and right she will always be. Put them all together, they spell mother, a word that means the world to me. So I hope after reading out this, you must have guessed that what we are actually going to read today. So for today, poetry 1 that we are going to start with is My Mother at 66. So the main characters in the poem are the poet Kamla Das and her mother aged 66. Let's see the hard words. Doze. The girl read until she started to doze. Won. Neha met Rahul's gaze with a wan smile. Sprint. The runner sprinted on the last lap. So, after all these things, I just want to give the outline of the poem to all of you. So, just pay attention. The poet describes her feeling of love and attachment towards her aging mother. So, what she says that after visiting her mother, the poet was on her way back to Cochin because she has met her parents, she has met her mother especially, and now she was returning back to where she must be working. So, while returning, what happens? She looked at her mother who was seated beside her in the car. Her mother had dozed off to sleep, and her aging face was smoky in color like ash. Her mouth was opened and she resembled to a dead body because while sleeping, the mother appeared kind of lifeless to the poet. So, after that, what happened? The poet realized that her mother was old and felt pain and sympathy for her. In order to come out of her sadness, what she did, she started looking outside the car because she was feeling very, very upset after seeing this kind of condition of her mother. Because, yes, the mother was of 66 and her face, her body, everything was pale, and this thing was giving a kind of pain to the poet. That's why, just to divert her mind, what she did, she started looking outside her car. So when she looked outside the car, she saw young trees were passing by and there were little children, those who were playing. And these things symbolized energy, life, and happiness. And then she was a bit okay because she saw some kind of positivity, she saw some kind of happiness around, and then she was just a bit calmed down. As they reached the airport and the poet was about to leave for the aeroplane, she glanced at her mother and more time. One more time. She glanced at her mother one more time because she was not knowing that whether she is going to see her again or not because the condition of her mother was not that good. So there was a kind of fear somewhere in her heart that maybe she will not get the opportunity to meet her again. But still, she just controlled her emotions. Her mother appeared weak and pale, just like the winter moon, but still, she controlled everything. She controlled her emotions and she said bye to her mother. She said, Bye, Amma. And then she left. Now, let's see the reading. My Mother at 66. Kamla Das, 1934 to 2009, was born in Malabar, Kerala. She is recognized as one of the India's For most poets, her words are known for their originality, versatility, and the indigenous flavors of soil. Kamla Das has published many novels and short stories in English and Malayalam under the name of Madhavikuti. Some of her works in English include the novel Alphabet of Lust, a collection of short stories, Padmavati, The Halat, and other stories. In addition to 5 books of poetry, she is a sensitive writer who captures the poetry, who captures the complex subtleties of human relationships in lyrical idiom. My mother at 66 is an example of that. Driving from my parents' home to Cochin last Friday morning, I saw my mother beside me, dozed, open mouthed, her face ashen like that of a corpse, and realized with pain that she was as old as she looked, but soon put that thought away and looked out at young trees sprinting, the merry children spilling out of their homes, but after the airport security check, standing a few yards away, I looked again at her, worn pale as a late winter's moon, and felt that old familiar ache, my childhood's fear, but all I said was, "See you soon, Amma." All I did was smile and smile and smile. So, this poem is a complete example of the feelings of the poet, and I think that this thing happens with everybody. We do respect our parents a lot, we love them a lot, but somewhere we are always having this kind of fear in our mind and heart that there will be a day when we are going to lose them actually. And just with this thought only, we feel very low because we never want to face that time where we got to hear, we'll get to know that they are going to, means they are not with us. So, this phase of life nobody wants to experience, but it's a fact that everybody has to go through such kind of situations. So in the same way, once what happened when this poet, she just went to meet her parents, she met her mother, and now after visiting the parents house, the girl really wanted to go back to the Cochin. And then what happened, she was driving the car and her mother just came to bid her goodbye. So when she was driving, she saw that her mother was sitting beside her. But when she was driving, she was looking at her mother and she was feeling very, very sad because the face of the mother was very pale and she had become really old. So, this thing somewhere was disturbing the poet. So, after seeing her mother, she realized that her mother is looking like a dead body. So, she did not want to see her more. So, just to distract her mind, what she did, she just looked outside the car. While looking outside the car, she saw that the trees were passing by. Actually, when she was driving, she was feeling like that the trees were passing by because the trees were looking like as if they are running. So after that, she also saw that some of the kids were playing in the fields, and this thing gave her kind of happiness because these things were filled with the positivity, energy, life, and happiness. So, finally, when the girl reached the airport, she saw her mother once again, she saw her pale face, and she compared that face to the moon in the winter because moon in the winter looks very, very less energetic. It's not that bright. So that's why she was having this thing in her mind, and she was not at all sure that whether when next time she's going to come back she's going to see her mother or not. But still she did not say anything. She just said that okay amma, goodbye, and she just bid her goodbye with smile, smile, and only smile. So for today, your home assignment is, how does Kamla Das try to put away the thoughts of her aging mother? Second, why has the poet's mother been compared to the late winter's moon? Third, what were the poet's feelings at the airport? So these are the three questions which I am giving you as your home assignment. I hope you all will complete it. Try to complete it in your rough notebooks. Now, with this chapter comes to an end. If you have any query, any problem, you can ask me, you can contact me. I will surely help you with the doubts. And now let's discuss the question answers of the previous chapter, which I told you that we are going to discuss that. Lost spring. So there were three short questions which I gave you and two long questions. So first of all, let me start with the question number 1. To which country did Sahib's parents originally belong? Why did they come to India? So Sahib's parents belonged to Dhaka in Bangladesh, where they lived amidst green fields. They and the other rag pickers left their homes many years ago and migrated to India in search of livelihood. Next question is, what job did Sahib take up? Was he happy? So Sahib took up work at a tea stall where he had to perform several odd jobs. It was not like one work, there were many jobs, including getting milk from the milk booth. He was not happy as he had lost his independence. When he was a rag picker, he was the master of his own world. He was absolutely free to roam anywhere. But now, as he was working under somebody, so he lost his independence. He lost his freedom. So that's why, though he was getting good amount of money here, but satisfaction was not there, and the boy was not at all happy. The third question is, what is Mukesh's dream? Do you think he will be able to fulfill his dream? Why not? So Mukesh's dream is to become a motor mechanic. It is no doubt difficult for Mukesh to achieve his dream, as he is torn between his desires and family tradition, which he cannot escape, because working as a Bengal seller, he and his family, they all believe in this tradition. I will not say that he, but his family believed in that, and somewhere he could not disobey them. He has to believe that, whether willingly or not willingly. But this was the tradition of the family, that if somebody is in the work of bangle making, that sons, daughters, everybody will be in the same profession. But Mukesh was not at all happy with that, because he wanted to be a motor mechanic. So he was trying hard for that, but it wasn't that easy. So that is why it's very hard for him to achieve his desires. Now, in long question answers, question number 1 is, give a brief account of life and activities of the people like Sahib-e-Alam settled in Simapuri. So the author's acquaintance with Sahib and other barefoot rag pickers introduced her to Simapuri. The residents of Simapuri consist of people who left Bangladesh in the 1971 war and are basically refugees. The area does not have facilities of sewage, drainage, or running water. About 10,000 rag pickers live here. Their only means of livelihood is rag picking, and they treat rags as valuable gold. So, question number 2 is, Lost Spring explained the grinding poverty and traditions that condemn thousands of people to a life of abject poverty. Do you agree? The story revolves around the pitiable condition of poor children who have been forced to live in slums and work hard in dirty conditions. The story is divided into two parts. The first part tells the writer's impression about the life of poor rag pickers who have migrated from Bangladesh, but now have settled in the Simapuri area of Delhi. And the second part narrates the miserable life of the bangle makers in town of Firozabad. The stark reality of these families is that in spite of back-breaking hard work that they put in, they cannot have even 2 square meals a day. Beside, they are victims of exploitation by those who are above them. And also, they suffer the consequences of blind belief in the tradition. So, this was the discussion of the question answers of previous chapter, Lord Spring. I hope this is also clear to you, and the poem which I just explained to you is clear to you. If not, then you can ask me. I'll be very happy. So, by that time, thank you so much. Sai Ram.